This is the last video in this series, and this is a video I want to call Putting It All Together. So I'm going to talk a little bit about, in this video, about how to take all the things I've shown you in the previous lessons and how to approach them so you can make the best of your time. So the first thing I want to tell you is that if you want to make gains, you need to practice consistently. So you have to practice every single day. Now the time you get is going to vary depending on your lifestyle. You might be young and single and without children, and you get home from work and you might have 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 hours if you want. And if that's your situation, then fantastic. Some people might be a little further along in life and might have kids, might have some more responsibilities. So you may not have a ton of time to devote, but what you need to do is figure out a particular amount of time that's good for you and make sure you can commit to that every single day. I don't think a half hour is unreasonable, or even 20 minutes if you can get that. But at any rate, consistency is key. So here's my suggestion for how you should approach the lessons. Number one, once you've established how much time you can spend every day, start by memorizing all of the scale shapes in the order that I showed them to you in the previous videos. Commit them to memory, get them under your fingers, because that's going to form the foundation for a great deal of your knowledge of the fretboard. Number two, I'm going to tell you to familiarize yourself with the exercises. You don't have to master them yet, you just have to familiarize yourself with them. So you just need to be able to play through them. In particular, that long minor scale exercise that I showed you. You should be able to play through it at a slow speed from start to finish and then back to the beginning again. And then the tremolo exercise, that one should be reasonably straightforward. There's not a ton to memorize there. All you really have to know is that you're doing 4 notes per click of the metronome. So once you have all that stuff kind of familiarized, once it's committed somewhat to memory, now you can start building speed. So what I would suggest is a couple of things. Either follow along to the exercise videos that I made for you, and I deliberately made those videos so you can see exactly how I go about building speed from my slowest tempo on up to my fastest tempo. So you can go ahead and follow along with those. I noticed when I played them back that at some points I wasn't exactly on with the metronome all the time, so that might screw you up a little bit. So at any rate, I just wanted to show you sort of the basic concept behind my practicing. So follow along with the videos if you like, or go ahead and just work with those exercises with your own metronome. Let's see what else. Yeah, and then from there, work those exercises up to the speed that you want. You may not want to go as fast as I go, or you may want to go way faster than I go. So decide what tempo you want. Again, just be careful. Make sure you don't injure yourself. Don't push it if things start to hurt. And then finally, once you have those exercises up to whatever speed is makes you happy, from there, what I would suggest is taking the picking mechanics that you mastered with those exercises and applying them to some of the scale shapes that you memorized earlier on. So a lot of the scale shapes are going to be kind of awkward compared to that exercise I showed you, but if you practice those awkward scale shapes, again, in the same way that you practice the sort of the 2 basic exercises that I've shown you, you can make some significant gains as well. So just as an example, I'd like to talk about the Dorian shape, which is the second shape I showed you. So the Dorian shape, and I'll deal with sort of the first couple of strings here. So the Dorian shape, you'll remember, looks like this, right? So to slow that down, the first 2 strings of the Dorian shape kind of look like this. So we have the E string, we have the A string, and we're going 3rd, 5th, and 6th fret, and then on the A string we're going 3rd, 5th, and 7th fret. And then the fingers, the switch for the fingers can be a little bit awkward. So from here, the fingers are going 1, 3, 4, or if you want to use the names, you go index, ring, and pinky. You're going from index, ring, pinky to index, middle, pinky. And add to that the stretch, and you have quite an awkward left-hand mechanic. So again, you would go about building your speed with that the same way you went about building your speed with the previous exercises. And so from here, if you were to practice, and I'll do it slowly, I won't work this one up to speed, but you would work with that shape in much the same way I just played it there, working on 2 string sets. So you would go the 6th and the 5th string, and that would repeat, and then you would do the 5th and the 4th, repeating that twice. Then you would do the 4th and the 3rd, and then you would do the 3rd and the 2nd. And again, we have a bit of an awkward shift there. Then you have the 2nd and the 1st. And then you would practice the same way in reverse. 1st and 2nd string, 2nd and 3rd, 3rd and 4th, 4th and 5th, 5th and 6th, and so on. So as I played before, it would wind up looking like this. You saw that already, so I won't repeat that again. Beyond that, that's about it for this particular series of lessons. Hopefully you find them interesting. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself, and hopefully you'll be able to make some gains in your playing. So all the best. Thanks for watching, and happy playing.